Guys, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be checking out another watch from Sugess. This is another chronograph featuring the famous ST19 movement, and even though this is homaging the limited edition racing inspired Breitling Deus Ex Top Time, this is still in the Seagull 1963 case, and the way I look at it, this is a more fun, more interesting twist on the 1963. I've had a few watches from them in the past, and from my experience, they're all really well built, and they always tend to take the whole homage concept a bit further, in the sense that they always tend to go for other watches that not everyone else is homaging, or if they do, they would put their own significant twist on it, like an upgraded movement that no one is using, like they did with the Daytona homage that I reviewed not too long ago, or like their sister brand Seagull that had a loomed date wheel for the 62 mass homage, which in the grand scheme of things is not a big deal, but this is something relatively significant. If you want to see those videos, I will put them in the corner of the screen or in the description box below. Before going forward, you may have seen the paid promotion tag in the corner of the screen. This watch has been provided to me by the AliExpress platform for the purpose of this review, and I don't have to return it, so bear that in mind as the video goes along. Once again, links into the description box below to this watch and to the Sugess official store if you want to check that out. Oh, and also please do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any future videos or any future reviews. Now roll the intro. Like I was saying earlier on, Sugess always like to go the extra mile and choose to homage something a bit more different that hasn't been done before. But I think that in this case, this was a bit of a no-brainer and they were a bit lucky. Bear with me. What does this mean? If you put the two watches side by side, the cases are very, very similar. But Sugess didn't have to go all the way of manufacturing case. The case from the typical 40mm version of the 1963 was already there, and the only thing they had to do is get a dial and a set of hands, and that's it. As cliche as it sounds, this was a very happy coincidence, and it was just sitting there waiting to be noticed, and fair play to whoever did notice it. Now let's cover some dimensions. The case diameter is 40mm. We also have a lug width of 20mm. The thickness is 13.5 with a domed sapphire crystal. We also have a lug-to-lug of 50mm, and we also have a weight of 71 grams on the supplied leather strap. A few things to go over here. Even though the 1963 comes in a few case sizes, the 40mm was the right option here, since the Breitling is 41mm. There's also a 42mm version if I'm not mistaken, but I think that would be a tad too big. 40 suits the wide majority of wrist sizes, and also this wears on the larger side since the lug-to-lug is 50mm. It looks on the larger side on my 6.3-inch wrist in combination with the longish lug distance, and I think this is a feature shared by all case sizes. Even the 38 looked and wore more like a 39. I had a look on AliExpress and could only find this in one size. Do let me know in the comment section below if you find this in smaller sizes so other people could enjoy it. Now, moving on to the case. Once again, this is a familiar sight with a high polished finish all around. I'm not sure if this is the same all across the board with all Seagull cases with the other brands, since they're not manufactured in-house and they're ordered and assembled on site. But from my experience, all Seagull 1963 watches that I've had hands-on benefit from the same quality finish. At the 2 and 4, we have the chrono pushers in the same finish. It's safe to say that we're all familiar with the functionality at this time. At the 3, we have the push-pull crown with the star logo. Now, while we're here, between the crown and the display caseback, we have a stated water resistance of 50 meters. I would have loved to see a different logo on the crown rather than the star, or probably no logo at all. I just think it adds a bit extra that is really not needed here on the whole identity part, because in my opinion, that's related to the whole vintage military theme, and that just doesn't relate to this. Moving along, the dial is covered by a domed piece of sapphire crystal with AR coating. You could actually see the AR, but this suffers from the same issues as all the other AliExpress watches. Apart from AR and the spec sheet, it doesn't actually say much else. This comes in 2 variants, a blue and a cream slash champagne enamel variant. This is the one closest to the original, and honestly, and the most approachable. I haven't had hands-on with the other one. Even if that has a more unique look to it, I just don't see it working. The indices are all applied with a printed tachymeter scale on the outer edge. Now, I'm not gonna lie, but I couldn't find the functionality of the yellow and orange accents at the 3, apart from that they're reminiscent of the cafe racer style motorcycle gauges that the original is using. So I guess just went along with it. We have yellow fence post style hour and minute hands with the lightning style chrono hand. The original has a very similar chrono hand, but I think the lightning effect is not as pronounced. I can see how it ties into the whole thing, but I would have used on this one just a straight chrono hand, just to put their own twist on it, as it's pretty obvious at this stage what this is homaging, and it wouldn't make much of a difference. This is just a personal preference because I'm not a fan of the chrono hand even on the originals. The subdials have this rounded square look, if that makes any sense, and they have yellow and orange hands respectively. They're slightly recessed and pretty well executed, and everything aligns as it should. There's not much to comment on here because the dial is what it's supposed to be, so chances are if you like the original, you like this one as well. In terms of lume, we have this minty blue shade on the hands and indices, with the hands outlasting the indices. But that's to be expected given the difference in surface between the two. And again, from experience, these 1963 style watches were never strong in the lume department. Overall, it's not bad, but nothing to write home about. Moving on, let's flip it around and talk about that movement. I honestly think that at this stage, the SD19 is synonymous with a display caseback, and this is the only movement that you can find for around $200 that you would never get tired of looking at. I'm going a bit off track here, but if you're just getting into watches and you're on a budget and you want to get something that you'll never get tired of looking at, get yourself one of these. Now, to get back on track, I haven't had any issues with these, and I have 4 at this stage in my collection. This one is running at +4 seconds per day, and I couldn't be any happier with it. Now, last but certainly not least, we'll be talking about the strap. The one that I have here comes on this kind of racing style genuine leather strap, 20 millimeter width with quick release spring bars, and out of the box this doesn't need any breaking in. It feels really soft, and not that it matters, but it actually has a strong leather smell, and I kind of like that. We have the Sugess branding stamped on the inside and also engraved on the buckle. And these are very tastefully done. I think depending on where you get this from, you can opt for an FKM rubber strap, so you do have options. My wife has been wearing this quite a bit on this orange rubber strap, and it does suit it quite well. It embraces the whole tone quite nicely. Final conclusions here, guys. From a distance, this actually looks like the 1963, but the closer you get to it, the more you get to know it, and it grows on you. Partly because of the bold homage choices, and also partly because of the color tone. Maybe I'm saying this because we're getting closer into the summer now, and these are the colors that are more into fashion. Even still, no matter what dial you put on this, the ST19 movement should never ever be a pass. That was it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed my review of the Sugess Top Time Deus Ex Machina homage. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I want to hear from you. Let me know if you liked the video. Please click a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.